So just what do you think is wrong with South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, huh? We don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this. We're ready for a big week. President Trump went to a big Formula One race over the weekend, was showered with love and patriotism. I mean, the guy's a rock star. What do you think would happen if Grandpa Joe went to an auto race somewhere in America? How about going over to, the Daytona Speedway or, the Dallas Motor Speedway? What do you think would happen to Biden in a big, spontaneous crowd? Think he'd be showered with the kind of love that Trump got? Now he's back chained to a courtroom in New York City. Over the weekend, he also spent time teasing one of his vice presidential running mates. I don't know who it's going to be. Got no idea. I know who it won't be. It won't be Governor Kristi Noem. And I got to turn to the smartest audience in the world because you got to tell me what you think the heck is wrong with her. Evidently, she lied about meeting Kim Jong-Un in her book that she desperately wants to sell. I can't wait to watch the sales figures for this book. First of all, there was the story about shooting the puppy, and people went bonkers over that. There was a little bit of defense for her. Farmers and farm life people and rural residents would text and write and say, Mike, you don't get it, you don't get it. That's what we do on the farm. Well, I know, but the optics of this, if you're a big-time politician, aren't good. She didn't like the puppy. It was eating the chickens, and it ruined the pheasant hunt. So she, like they say in Yellowstone, she took Cricket, the puppy, to the train station. Took little Cricket to the gravel pit, and boom, bullet between the eyes. And, of course, the country went bananas. But then, as people are scrutinizing her book, she wrote in the book, I had the chance to travel to many countries to meet with world leaders. I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-Un. Now, you got to know this going in. If you haven't heard about this, she didn't. She hadn't. She apparently made this up. She said, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. You know, dealing with foreign leaders takes resolve, preparation, and determination. Nothing against South Dakota. I'm just not real sure how many world leaders, governors of the Dakotas, spend time with. So, Kristi Noem, trying to sell the book, pops up on Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan. It did not go well for Governor Noem.
Talk about meeting some world leaders, and one specific one. Quote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-Un. I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all. Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
Well, you know, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage, and I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being released in a couple of days, and that those edits will be in place, and that people will have the updated version.
So you did not meet with Kim Jong-un. That's what you're saying.
You know, I've met with many, many world leaders. Many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. I think I've talked extensively in this book about my time serving in Congress, my time as governor, before governor, some of the travels that I've had. I'm not going to talk about my specific meetings with world leaders. I'm just not going to do that. This anecdote shouldn't have been in the book, and as soon as it was brought to my attention, I made sure that that was adjusted.
Wow, that's bad. That's really, bad, like mental breakdown bad level. You think something's wrong with this lady? What in the world happened to Kristi Noem? Now, I don't like to spend a lot of time going after fellow Republicans. Suffice to say, she can be crossed off the vice presidential running mate list for Donald Trump. But I'm just really dying to find out what you think about this lady. 1-800-655-MIKE. I know how many of you came to her defense over the demise of Cricket. Cricket going to the great, great pasture in the sky. I get that. I understand it. There's people don't get it, but there can't be any ambiguity here. Hey, Governor Noem, did you meet him? I'm very glad to be selling books. I mean, and I love the pregnant pause. It's like she's like, uh-oh, she got me. And she pauses. Well, did you meet Kim Jong-Un or not? Well, I met many world leaders. It's like she had a stroke. She has the worst PR team since Kanye West. I mean, this is awful. But you can't count on a PR team to bail somebody out of this. I remember when I met Mother Teresa. Hey, Governor, did you meet Mother Teresa? Boy, I sure can't wait for my book to go on sale. I remember when I met Abe Lincoln. Hey, did you meet Abe Lincoln? Well, I hope you buy my book. I met many world leaders. Hey, did you meet Napoleon Bonaparte? What the heck? Please, don't let me tread water here in the deep end of the pool. I need you at 1-800-655-MIKE to tell me what exactly you think is going on here. She's an accomplished governor. She's charismatic. She checks all the boxes. She seems to be playful with those TV ads. She's fun. She's smart. She got COVID right. She got a lot of things right. Just what the heck happened to Kristi Noem? 800-655-MIKE. Welcome to South Carolina. Big day for us as we're launching today on News Talk 98.9 WORD. And thank you for going on the journey with us. This is the station where it pretty much all started for me 35 years ago. So coming home again is a big deal, both for me and my buddy Joey Hudson. So more on that in just a bit. But here in the Relief Factor studios, I desperately need you to flood my phone lines. Don't be slow on the trigger today. Be like Kristi Noem with Cricket. You get right to the phone and take care of business. 800-655-MIKE. 800-655-6453. Press 1 to come on air with me. And when I come back, I expect full lines for you to give me a working theory about just what in the world has happened to Governor Kristi Noem. Maybe it's like a little mini aneurysm or a physical condition. I got nothing. But I got you, babe. 800-655-MIKE. 800-655-6453. I hope you join us.
Mike Gallagher.
Hey, Mike. Kristi Noem should not be on the VP list at all because she's just a liability for Trump now because they're just going to be making a mockery out of her everywhere you go about that dog and this thing about the meeting the Korean leader, North Korean leader.
Hey, Mike, Kristi Noem's finished. I'm a dog lover. When I heard what she did to her dog, that was it for me, man. She's done. She shouldn't even be brought up anymore in any conversations. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Mike, regarding Kristi Noem, terrific governor, not ready for prime time, made one mistake in talking about something she shouldn't have talked about, being her dog. Number two, apparently made the second mistake regarding North Korea. Just not ready for prime time. Too bad. Terrific person. Out of place at this particular time. Let's be done with it. Move on.
Yeah, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, I agree, because we got to move on. But it's important and it's relevant because she was considered a potential vice presidential running mate for Donald Trump. And I got that on pretty good authority. I got that from Trump World. Michael in Atlanta on the text message, a text line from MyPillow, 800-655-MIKE. Kristi Noem is now a liability to the Republican Party. Her insistence to publish a book riddled with narcissistic activities makes her not ready for prime time. I'm hearing that phrase a lot, but it's more than not ready for prime time. I don't care how small time you might be. You're lying about meeting people? It makes my skin crawl when I think of Dick Blumenthal in the U.S. Senate lying about serving on the battlefield in Vietnam. People who lie about serving their country in the military or their service or being at 9/11 when they weren't there. All this crazy stuff that people fabricate, those are narcissistic fabulists. And those are people that cannot be believed or trusted in any way, shape, or form. But I would have never thought that of Kristi Noem. So help me understand what you think is happening here. Phil's in Pennsylvania. Hey, Phil, welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show. How's it going?
Hey, Mike. I think that the problem with Kristi Noem is she's taken on the MO of a typical Democrat. You know how they like to be evasive and projective? She doesn't realize she's a Democrat.
Well, yeah, but I don't know that this isn't even Republican versus Democrat. I mean, Democrats don't seem to have a whole lot of moral convictions. They don't have a core. But I can't even think of a Democrat who goes around making stuff like this up. Why would you say I met Kim Jong-Un in a book if you never did? What in the what?
I don't know why. You know, sensationalism is a hot topic. You just put on any news station. I don't know. Yep. Maybe she's just it rubbed off on her.
I don't get it. But I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I think this transcends typical political rivalries here between the Republicans and the Democrats. This is almost pathological. Les is in Oregon. Hi, Les. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you, Mike?
Good, thanks. Glad you joined us.
I think that what we used to have in the United States was called an investigative reporter, and they should have more of them, and they should grab a hold of this and take a look at it. Also, I think when someone's pathological like that, they should not be allowed to be in office anymore.
Well, it just makes me wonder. I mean, again, you write a book, that's forever. I mean, if you say something, okay, well, you say it in passing, oh, you know, I met a world leader. But when you write it in a book, how did she think that wouldn't come out? That she didn't? I mean, again, to the other caller who said sounds like a Democrat, as I think about that a little bit, yeah, Biden lies at the drop of a hat. Biden lies about everything. Biden's been black. He's been Puerto Rican. Go through the list of lies. On and on. But no governor should talk this way. Jeff's in Allentown, PA. Jeff, how you doing, Happy Monday, sir.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? It's obvious that she went to the Brian Williams School of Book Writing.
I wonder if there's a chapter in there, her dodging enemy fire in the helicopter.
Yeah, well, she should be done now. She should be done.
It's finished. I mean, and again, I promise I don't want to spend tons of time on this because we got bigger fish to fry. The country's burning. We got craziness going on in the country.